Am I the asshole for saying no to my in-laws taking our kids to Disney? My male 28, wife, female 28, and I have 2 daughters, 6 and 5 years old, which is prime Disney age. They're both super into princesses and all that. We've talked about taking them to Disney over the next few years as we know they'd love it. My wife has never been before, and I've only been once when I was 10 years old. It was definitely a memorable trip for me as my family had to save up for a while. We've always known that Disney would be our big trip with our girls. In July, my father-in-law got diagnosed with prostate cancer. After a few rounds of chemo and some rather intensive stays at hospitals, it's only gotten worse. It's spread across to other organs in his body, and rather than trying to suffer to fight it, he's opted to just not do chemo and try to live with what time he has left. As a result, him and my mother-in-law have decided to make more memories with family. One of these memories is to take our daughters to Disney and surprise them with the trip yesterday during Christmas. At first, I thought my wife would be against it as well, as we've always said we wanted to get the experience taking them and seeing their faces. However, I found out that my mother-in-law cleared it with my wife last month. My wife didn't tell me because she thought I would be surprised and excited for our daughters. I sat through all the rest of the night, but when we got home, we had a serious discussion about it. I told my wife that I didn't want our daughter's first trip to Disney to be without us. She suggested we go along, but the trip is in February and booking flights, hotels, and tickets for just my wife and I for the time they're all going is still going to be about $5,000. I told my wife that we have to talk to her parents and decline the trip, but my wife is saying that I'm being selfish and heartless by robbing our daughters of this experience and robbing them of a core memory with my father-in-law before he passes. Am I being out of line here?
I think he needs to make it happen.
He's an asshole if he doesn't make it happen.
He needs to make it happen some way or another. I know it sounds like a lot of money, but he needs to peruse those tickets to find more affordable ones. He needs to maybe pick up some extra shifts. I don't know. Join them in the experience if that is really something that you wanted to do as a family, because I understand that. Matt and I have talked about the whole Disney experience also, and we're excited to bring our kids. I think 5 and 6 is probably at the younger age range. Bring a stroller. Bring a stroller. If your kids are younger than 15, bring a stroller for them. You will thank me later. Okay.
Amy had a bad experience at Bentleyville here. It's like a holiday light walkthrough in Duluth. And so, yeah, bring a stroller if your kids are under 15.
Their legs will stop working.
It'll be slippery.
It's going to be slippery. They're going to get cold feet. I don't care that it's Florida or California, wherever they're going. Bring a stroller. Okay. So back to it, or rent one. Anyway, back to it. So I understand that whole wanting to experience the magic of Disney with your family and just being your family. But I mean, he has prostate cancer. It's not getting better. His time is limited. This is something that they want to do. And maybe then it's bringing it to them and saying, hey, we really want to come along. We're struggling financially. What about, including us? Do you have any extra financial help that you could bring us along, or a loan, or again, be creative with the way that you make things happen. But you got to just make it happen.
I completely agree.
Yeah, I agree. I think from the sounds of it, it sounds like that they have a decent relationship with their in-laws. Mm-hmm. Like there's nothing outstanding that you'd be like, oh my God, our kids cannot travel with them. I think that really his biggest issue is like, oh, they're going to go on this big trip. It's too expensive. It's like we talked about bringing them on that experience. I think that, again, your father-in-law is dying. Your wife, that's her father.
That's her dad.
And
right.
Yes, Disney is a special, magical place, but guess what? Disney will be around for a long time. It's not going anywhere.
And he won't be.
For $5,000, okay, that's a lot of money. Don't get me wrong.
Shit ton of money.
But, man, to build those experiences and memories with your father-in-law before he passes, like, you have to do it. Get a credit card, put it on the credit card, and make payments. Figure out how to do it, because at the end of the day, he could be gone tomorrow. And they're paying. Think about how expensive that trip is going to be if you were to do it on your own. Your in-laws are paying for your 2 children. And that's a good savings right there. So think of the dollars you're saving.
They're saving money.
I know people that went to Disney this year. Their trip for a family of 4 was $10,000.
That's insane.
I mean, for just me and Justin, we live in California. We drive down, we pay the $30 for parking, and we drive back. We still spend $800 to go for the day. Like, the tickets themselves are $200 a person.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Husband is just not thinking this through all the way. There's something, I don't know.
I don't know.
Is it truly the money? Does he feel...
I think he might
Does he feel inadequate?
Threatened. I think
inadequate.
For me, it seems something of like this was supposed to be my experience, and like also like I think it's kind of a little like I as like if this were me and I was the wife, I would be so upset with my husband, because not only are you robbing like our girls of time with their grandpa that they're not going to get back, like. This, like, if you think about memories you have with people, and like we were talking about this other day, like we have an uncle, Chuck, and I remember going to the zoo with him all the time. And that's at that same age. I was like 5 or 6, and doing those experiences, you're going to remember. These girls aren't going to grow up with their grandpa, but they're going to remember going to Disney with their grandpa. And like you said, Disney's going to be there, but he's not going to be there.
Correct.
And this is also her dad. And what an amazing experience to be able to take your kids to Disney for the first time with your dad and your whole family as like a last hurrah for him. And to steal that from not only your kids, but your wife, get over yourself. And yeah, it is a lot of money. Things can be financed. I don't know your credit history and the line of credit or what you have going on, but I think there's ways to do it. There's budget hotels that you might have to drive a little bit for. There's options, but to just say no and to like steal that from everyone when he's sick.
So there are also studies that show that happiness levels, and like if you're going to spend money, what's going to bring you the most happiness? It's not on the physical things that you buy, but it's on the traveling and the experiences you have with people together. And so, I mean, maybe we are going to redirect some of the budget. I'm all about budgeting. Everybody should budget. But maybe we need to redirect some of those dollars on those purchases, the fridge, or whatnot that you're planning on buying this year. Maybe that needs to wait. And especially since time is limited for his father-in-law, just somehow make it happen, redirect that money into those experiences. And in the end, it'll lead to more happiness.
He's also forgotten how long those lines are. Think about how many lines he can alternate. Hey, Grandpa, take the kids. Go ahead on this.
We're going to go get a drink at Epcot.
Oh, doesn't that sound good?
I know.
Have another babysitter with you at the Disney? Yes,
Well,
absolutely.
The world's busiest place.
We plan on
Yeah.
bringing Morgan and Justin so we can do just that. We'll alternate.
We're going to get the magic genie. We're going to skip the lines.
Perfect.
But I will just say that's a really good point, because you also think like he has cancer. He's not going to be feeling well. His endurance and his activity tolerance is going to be probably a little lower. It's not going to be like grandpa hogging the time the whole time. Grandpa and grandma probably going to need to go to the hotel to take a nap.
They might need strollers.
They might. He might need an electric wheelchair. It might be not like a really long Disney day. Like it's not an open to close like me and Justin do. So you're going to still, I think on this trip, like you're still going to get that time with just your kids. So don't like, if everyone goes, it's honestly going to make the trip better for everyone involved. Like truly.
I agree.
I agree.
I'm really intrigued to see if there's any additional, like, I want to know what the husband and the father-in-law's relationship is like, because I think of my own father-in-law. If I had the same opportunity, I'd be like, I'd really want to go for those memories myself, to see my kids like embrace my father-in-law.
Yeah.
So
We have no additional edits or info from OP. There's no additional comments from OP. Overall vote on this one, and this is a recent one. It's 3 days ago. It was asshole. So hopefully he's taking it to heart. The top comment was, "You're the asshole. Your wife is right. I understand your disappointment in not being the first to take your kids to Disney, but these are special circumstances. Their grandfather / your wife's father is dying and wants to create memories with his grandchildren that will last once he's gone. It's small-minded and selfish to take that opportunity away from him and your children just so you can be the first to have the experience with them. Do you think if you do this, your wife and daughters won't resent you for what you are taking away from them to satisfy your own selfish need? If you do this, remember someday your daughters will be adults and think about how they will look back on this and what they will think of you."
At the end of the day, if I was that wife, I'd still go. I'd leave him at home. I'd coordinate it with my parents.
1000%.
I'd be like, hey, I'm going to sleep on a roll-in cot or bed.
Absolutely.
And I'm going to make it happen. Husband, man, you can stay home.
This would be the hill I die on. Truly. This is one of those things. And like, granted, I'm a Disney adult. I'm a little biased. But like, honestly, that might make me more so like, who gives a fuck if it's your kids' first time with their grandparents instead of you? Like, it's what? It's not about that. It's literally spending time with their grandpa who isn't going to be here.
How old were the kids?
5 and 6.
Young little
that's
ones.
borderline. I don't even know if they're 42, 48 inches. How many rides are they even going to be able to ride on?
I know that's Matt's. That's like
That'll be good.
That's when we go. Matt's measuring how tall our kids
Dad
are.
should think about that too. Like, you're right. You know, they're only mostly going to go on the kid rides. So we can take them again down the line.
There
They
you
can
go.
go on the real rides.
And it's probably going to be an entirely different experience.
And that's
So-
what so many people in the comments start saying. Like, they're basically like all of these have so many awards, red boxes. It's blinding. But the next one is like, it's Disney. They will light up every time, regardless of being the first trip. And that's so true. Like, as someone that does go to Disney more than the average bear, like, it's a different experience every time you go. There's different things. There's different characters you see. Like, and they're at this age where it's going to be princesses and the little kid rides. As you take them when they get older, you're going to have more of an experience where you might be on their level doing roller coasters and the log flume, the log ride. And like, it's just different. Like, don't steal this from them.
Agreed.
It really makes me mad, honestly.